Welcome to Grow Overload. I'm Anthony, and can you have too many CPU cores? Ever since there's been rumors of higher core count processors out there for the mainstream desktop, as well as even when HEDT lines now high end desktop have gone to 32 cores from AMD and 28 from Intel, is this too many cores? And I'm going to say no. You can never have too much, right? For me as a software developer, there's always room to go and get more out of something. Like how do we achieve and get more performance out of something with the hardware that we're able to get access to? And one thing that companies don't want to do is make a product that's never going to sell or never going to make a profit on. Because what use is that, right? If there's a need, let's try to fill it. And I hope that companies are really thinking that way and users can push them in that direction. We don't want to be in a standstill. With competition, I see that there is that path forward to be able to kind of be like, yeah, we can go here and actually push something forward so that we can have the capability to utilize it in the future because users want it. And to me, is there too much power for a certain use case? Yeah, like you don't have to overbuy and buy the highest end. You can buy what suits your needs and what accomplishes what you want to accomplish on a computer or basically anything in life. You don't have to overspend or buy something that's too powerful or too big for your needs. You just need to buy what it is there. Like for my wife, she's perfectly fine using the Surface. For me, the Surface is the nice complement to my main desktop. And like I'm gonna be building a computer here for my parents. They don't need something with a huge amount of core count. They need something to be able to get the simple tasks that they want to get done in a reasonable time. So I'm not saying everyone needs a horrible, powerful, just amazing machine, right? The bad, just completely bad to the bone machine that does everything you could throw at it. However, I do think that some people do, and when you get higher core counts, I could easily see Intel throwing in a 56, AMD going 64 because that's where their server lines are going. Just think about the possibilities out there for that segment that wants to utilize it. That's what's going to be impressive, right? Those people, like I'm a software developer, and higher core count machines is always more welcome. I can get more accomplished. It shortens turnaround times. It just gets things done faster, and software needs to adapt to it as well. And applications right now don't use all cores, but most of the time I'm not running just one application. I'm doing multiple things. But even so, as a developer, I'm working in applications that I write code on and stuff. I want to adapt to it to try to take advantage of these higher thread count machines. And that's really kind of the focus of where things need to go, right? You can have two scenarios, right? Where you can have a game like Crisis that pushes the hardware to the limits. And then for the next, I don't know, decade plus, everyone's going through and saying, can it run Crisis? Right? That can be the gold standard. And while you could go out there for that gold standard and have that amazing piece of software, it takes a lot of development side stuff to be able to create a piece of software that can push a computer to its limits. The other side is that you can just be going along. Hardware and software can just be kind of moving forward simultaneously, and yeah, they're kind of matching each other, not one or the other's pushing it. And then there's another scenario, which I think we need is time to have, where the hardware just goes through and pushes the software in the right direction. NVIDIA is trying to do this with RTX, and their RTX cores is push it into the ray tracing future. And it may work, it may not. We'll see, in a year or so when it starts shaking out a little bit more, especially once the next consoles come out, we'll start to see that take shape more. However, on the desktop side and the high core count side, I can only imagine what you can do once you start taking, a 16 core mainstream desktop or even start throwing it into the 64 core HEDT market, right? There is scientific research, or just scientific stuff, research, development, software development, just developing different things, rendering, you can have your mini render workstation here, just a multitude of different things that can be taken advantage of it. and software will then adapt and improve. And if software doesn't adapt, somebody else may come along with a better piece of software that can take advantage of it, be faster, be more effective, suit your needs better, be more time turnaround sensitive, especially if you're rendering videos and everything else. You know, you want to be content creator wants to have that faster turnaround time, and if something else can push out something you're currently using, yeah, it might be a change in the workflow, but in the end, if it's a benefit to you, you're going to take a look at it. And I do think that Windows has issues, right? Well, the software you're running on the main OS is a main component of that. And with 1903 of this latest May 2019 update of Windows, it has improved scheduler stuff, especially with Ryzen. But is it perfect? No, there's probably still room for improvement. Only time will tell to see how Microsoft solve that. But if we just sit here and say this, the scheduler doesn't work right now, well, do you think it's ever going to get fixed if we don't push it forward and make it kind of work for everything else? Like the advancements that the hardware can do by pushing it forward can help the software side iron out some of its issues to make it be able to take that step forward past hardware. And even Linux and stuff is probably going to need some fine tuning and some massaging to be able to get it to where it needs to be able to take care of these higher core count machines. But the opportunity here for the higher core counts, I think, is a niche market, small market that can grow, but is needed to be able to push software in the right direction and have those users that need to utilize that immense amount of horsepower of hardware so that they can be able to accomplish what they need to get done in a reasonable time for a cost that's more respectable than, getting a huge server farm and hopefully it works, right? There's opportunities that when you bring these boxes down, I think that you get higher core count machines like RenderBox and stuff. It actually makes it so independent creators can create some great content that we can go to instead of having to, go to, watch cable television all the time. I think that there's more unique stuff, more creative stuff on that a creator can do than a big corporation can do because of the freedom that they have and the creativity minds that are just astounding, right? They're amazing. I'm really hoping that AMD and Intel keep pushing forward. I like what NVIDIA is doing with ray tracing. We'll see how that takes off. I'm still on the fence about the whole ray tracing thing just because the cards are so expensive that I'm sitting on the sidelines to see how it irons out. But you just think of everything else you could do, with gameplay or everything else on these higher core count machines. A lot of games are ported over and they're not the best ports in the world, so you might have some leeway to make the game even better. Or if it's just strictly a PC game, there's opportunity there to run some more AI stuff, more, details or, different calculations on the CPU with the extra processors. There's also a GPU side you can do it on, so there's a mixture, and if you get bigger, you know, systems that have more core counts, higher end GPUs, the opportunity is endless of what a developer can do to take advantage of it. So that's a little bit of my thoughts is that you can never have too many cores. But there are scenarios out there that will right now require a lot less, and it's not needed for most of the things, right? A quad core for my parents is just fine. I have a 2200G upstairs for a little mini server. There's no reason to put a 16 core processor in there. However, if I'm working on my main desktop and trying to get things done, I'm going to try to go after as much horsepower I can afford so that it can help me accomplish the things that I want to get done much faster. So let me know what your thoughts are on the whole core count thing and where you stand on it. Yeah, it's going to be an evolving thing, and over time, I really hope these companies push forward so us as software developers can take advantage of it, because I think there's opportunity there. And maybe at some point, you can't, more cores just levels off, right? There's a curve where it's like, oh yeah, now we're here, and it doesn't get that much more improvement. That could happen, but until then, let's have some fun. Let's build some great software. Let's get some great results from it. Some rendering, some development, whatever else there is, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun to be able to see what people can accomplish with what manufacturers can do with adding and giving out more hardware for a price. So with that, thank you for watching. Leave your comments below. I'll be excited to read them. Until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.